What up, all my Mingas, and welcome to the Minga Sports Podcast. I'm Nacho.
I'm Garuta. Huh?
Your mic went. Boom, boom.
Yeah. You wanna know why? It's because I did this. Huh?
Whoa.
Huh?
Oh.
Because I hit my mic, and
Dong!
I thought that the mic would make the dong noise, but I think it stopped doing that since I got my new computer. It only does it when I speak.
I don't. What?
So,
Okay.
huh?
Nothing.
Huh?
Week 6
What?
of the NFL.
What?
Week 6 of the NFL. Well, first
Alright,
off,
week
let's
6.
start it off with our, this is a sports podcast after all. Red Sox won after putting up a show last night.
The Red Sox have just won a lot.
We like to hit home runs. It's just kind of our thing in the postseason now. We've
we have
hit 3 grannies in the postseason because,
we have 20 home runs. No, we have 3 grand slams in this series. We have 20 home runs in the postseason, which is tied with our franchise record.
Yeah.
And now Bogarts just hit one, so that makes it 21. So we have beaten our franchise record.
We won last night 12-3. Oh boy, was it a game. As we are filming this 9:45 p.m. on Tuesday, October 19th, the Red Sox are currently up 2-1 in the middle of the 4th against the Astros. And
Yes.
the Dodgers won 6-5 today after Bellinger hit a
Tragically.
3-run shot.
Tragically.
The only reason I like to watch the Dodgers is because of Mookie Betts. Because I cry a little bit every time I see him, but he's doing good. So good, keep going.
Okay.
Into the football world. We will start with our best and worst of the week. As always, Anthony, pick first.
Best. Fuck, I just kicked the table on accident. Alright. Anyways. Buffalo at Tennessee. Monday Night Football is my best. Tennessee, they might lose to the Jets, but they can still beat Super Bowl contenders. So that was fun. I saw that this dropped the Buffalo's chances of being in the Super Bowl or whatever. They had like the chances and percentages of which teams are gonna go. This dropped Buffalo down to 51%. So they got
From
a
what?
coin flip. I don't know, something higher. But it dropped down to 51%, which means they have coin flip odds to make it to the Super Bowl.
I think they still have higher than that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would like to take Cleveland out of my Super Bowl and put Buffalo in.
hey,
I
you're
said
trying to
Cleveland,
copy me.
Buffalo. What, did you have Rams, Bills?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like week 1 when we said, and you said you're gonna be a Browns fan. I said I'll be a Bills fan and I'll buy a Mitch jersey, the red one.
Ugh, not the red one. The red Bills jerseys are not good.
Yeah, but it's also a Mitchell Trubisky jersey.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't think this is much cause for concern. Yeah, it was a loss.
It was a 3-point
Tennessee
loss.
is good when they have their Tennessee is good when they have their star players, and especially Derrick Henry, which if you have literally any other running back, name a running back that's good.
A good running back?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones.
Put him on Tennessee as the first string running back. Does Buffalo still win this game, or does Tennessee still win this game? No,
Maybe.
I don't think they do.
They might.
Because obviously they might, but I think Derrick Henry is just an unstoppable force. He's a glitch of a human.
I don't see it much for Tennessee's success. I see it as Buffalo's error. You call
Mm-hmm.
a QB sneak with 22 seconds left in the game at like the 4 yard line when you could kick a field goal
To
and
go
tie
into
the game.
overtime.
So they went really ballsy, and it did not pay off. Josh Allen slipped, and it was really funny watching it.
He did. He ran left and he tripped as soon as he was handed the ball. Ungood because he
He,
obviously didn't make it. He was
yeah.
short. Like it was clear that they did
Oh
not make
yeah.
it.
Did you see Arroyo just hit that triple though?
I didn't. I have to put up my uh
This is why you have 3 monitors, folks.
uh
Always.
I'll
Let's
use
turn the
my
fucking jets on. Holy
college
shit.
money for another monitor.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, I just think that the Bills are going to learn from this. They're going to implement some better uh run defense and then they'll be fine. Uh
Yeah,
I
that's
don't see this as like any cause for concern. Yeah, it sucks, but like
Buffalo still has probably I wouldn't say the most well-rounded. They're probably still the best team in the AFC. They're probably not the most well-rounded. I'll get to that one later.
mm-hmm.
Cause there was a game that showed a very well-rounded team. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Buffalo, Tennessee. It was a really good game. It was close the
it
whole
was.
way. It was only a field goal that they lost by. So that was my best for the week. What's yours?
I'd have to say Arizona in Cleveland,
Why? This game was
37-14.
so bad. This game was so bad.
No, I just think that it shows Arizona as a top team, and I think like this is a kind of hot take. The Cardinals have a chance for an undefeated season. This is obviously bad for Cleveland.
Whoa,
Cleveland,
whoa, whoa.
what?
That is a hot take.
Yeah.
They
Well,
are in a division with the Rams.
the only thing stopping the Cardinals, in my opinion, is the Packers and the Rams, which are two games. The other ones, I think they have, it's going to be a game. They have to fight for it, but I don't think it's going to be too bad of a problem.
They're going to play the Seahawks with Russ back, and Russ is going to want vengeance, and they have to play him twice. They're going to be playing a Cowboys team at the end of the season who will probably be looking for a postseason berth. Um, and yeah, Packers, Rams. So there's a couple games they can lose. They definitely are gonna come away with a winning season. You got Houston up next. Carolina's looked really shitty as of late. Detroit's later on the schedule. The Bears and the Colts are later on the schedule. You still got the 49ers again. So, like, in their best case scenario, it is a 17-0 season. But, like,
Mhm.
the worst case is you drop both to the Seahawks, one to the Rams, and one to the Packers.
There wasn't many outstanding games that I could have said was the best. Arguably the Vegas
Oh, no,
game.
this is a really shitty week.
I just took the positive out of Arizona. I mean, people keep shitting on Baker Mayfield, but like chill
I'll
out.
shit on Baker Mayfield.
Why? Go ahead.
He has not been putting up numbers of first overall pick,
That's
like
true.
at all. Like he's got 1,400 yards, which is 17th in the league.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
He has
he should have a couple more.
six touchdown passes, which is tied for 24th. Six inter or 3 interceptions, which is tied for 6th, and he's in the bottom 10 for QBR. His passer rating's been okay, but like overall his stats are not very impressive. He's not been playing great, and now he's got a shoulder thing. So they're thinking of
It's
keeping
his
him out
left shoulder
for.
though, isn't it?
It's still a shoulder thing. That hit he like got hurt on. Everyone was like showing, oh, JJ Watt's going over to help, but then I watched the actual hit and ouch,
Yeah,
it
there
looked like
was
it hurt.
a clip on the sidelines where he was like, "Yeah, my shoulder came out and I just popped it back in and I was good."
Yep. He like twisted, landed on his shoulder, and then twisted more with his shoulder just like planted in the ground, and it's like ouch. But I would start considering like I their weak point is the offense.
Yeah,
They
for
put up
sure.
14 points. Like if you're Baker Mayfield and you have Odell Beckham, like you should be putting up more than 14 points just off of that. Um, and then you had Kareem Hunt, who played, but I think Kareem Hunt got hurt,
He
and Nick
did.
Chubb didn't play. So I don't know. They just have to figure something out on offense to, and that'll probably fix themselves. But still, their defense gave up a lot of points too.
That is true. And like last season, they needed like half a season to realize that they're a good football team. I'm hoping that happens because I'd like to see them play good football. I like
Yeah,
the Browns to not be the Browns anymore, and you know,
yeah. I'm
I
like a
like it when
kind
all
of
teams are
Browns
good.
fan.
I
Yeah,
don't
when
like
they're
to
not
see.
really a bad team.
Yeah, I disagree because you have teams like the Lions who, yes, they play well, but they don't get wins.
That's what I like. The Lions play a lot of close games.
And the Jets have a lot of it. Well, I understand
The Jets and Jags just kind of have a lot of issues.
everybody's like, at an NFL level, and teams will have problems. But I'm saying I love it when like there's the majority of teams like play really good football games where you just see
Yeah,
constant errors like on the Jets and on the Jaguars. It's just not good to watch.
yeah. But it was an game. I guess for this week it's better
Mhm.
because there were not a lot of good games. But
Going
let's
into the
move on to the
worst
worst.
ones though,
I had Seattle at Pittsburgh. That was such a tragic game to watch.
I listened to it over the radio and I was not
Oh.
pleased.
Um. So Seattle had multiple opportunities to win. They like Jamal Adams had the ball bounce off of his helmet. Just a lot of
He's the thing is, if you watch it, he stares at the ball for like an entire second, which it's a lot of
oh
time,
yeah.
and
I'm
then it
sure
hits him in the head. And he's like, "Oh, what happened?"
I'm
And it's
sure
like,
at
"What?"
least I'm sure at least 50% of NFL fans would have caught that.
Yeah,
Like it was that easy.
and
That like open.
it's so different because he's playing back. Because usually he's in a linebacker position, and then
Mhm.
I mean, I guess he was like an outside linebacker position still, but
Yeah. I think Jamal Adams is probably the most. I was gonna say the most overpaid athlete, and then I remember that Ben Simmons exists, and he just got suspended. So, in football, Jamal Adams is probably the most overpaid player. He was good with the Jets, and he is not good anymore. I don't know what did it to him. I don't know what happened, but he is just fallen off bad. And Pittsburgh did not look good on offense either. You know, Big Ben tried some deep balls, and they were very inaccurate, I'll
Big Ben
say.
is having like geriatric moments.
Yeah. Was this their first game without Juju?
Yes.
I think it was. Um yeah, they did not look good. They looked like they were without their number 1 receiver. But their
Which is a
defense
number
bailed
two
them
at
out.
number 1.
Yeah. Their defense bailed them out yet again. Because TJ Watt is an unstoppable monster on the defensive line.
And he gets paid a lot of money because he does stuff like that.
Yeah. Uh, but another thing, Seattle was just too reliant on running. I get you have Geno Smith in, but Geno Smith is a veteran. He
Geno
has
Smith
had
made
multiple
some plays
starts.
last week too. He
Yeah,
didn't
like
look bad.
he's not a bad quarterback, but like he's a veteran. You can put him in. He knows what to do. But they didn't call his number a lot. A lot of the plays I saw, like a lot of the highlights, were just handoffs. And like, why are you handing it off when you have this veteran quarterback who knows what knows the playbook. He's been there for a year already. He knows where the ball could go. He's got two star receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Like, I don't see why you're not giving him the ball.
I can see why it's very common to have that kind of like scared. You have Russ in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, dude has the film to back him up. Geno Smith, he's a good quarterback. He plays quarterback. He can throw the ball well. He can make decisions. Like you said, he's a veteran. A couple years. I don't know how many years has he been in the league.
Oh, he's been in for a while. He
I
was
I know he's been in the league for a while.
he followed up Mark Sanchez. So it's got to be what? It's got to be at least 8 years, right?
Since 13.
13. Yeah, 8 years.
Um,
Oh, look at me.
nice. He can make the decisions. He's there, and I hate seeing when I can talk about this more, especially with the Patriots, but when you don't have a star quarterback that you're very comfortable with, you don't want them to make plays because it looks bad on you, and two, you just don't know how they're going to play because they never play. And that's just not how you play football. You have to take chances. You pay your players a lot of money to do the things that you see in practice, and you have to be confident with them. You
Yeah,
know,
my
you,
thing is
anybody can hand the ball off, but to have somebody who can make decisions, who did last week, he threw the ball fine last week.
you see if you're Pittsburgh, you see that Russ has gotten injured and you're going to game plan for the run. You immediately see that you're going to game plan for the run and you have TJ Watt and Cam Hayward on your defensive line. So that's already like good. And you have Devin Bush at that middle linebacker to stop the run. So when you're going up against on paper probably one of the best run defenses in the league just with those three players, you're going to shut down the run. If you're Pete Carroll and you're Seattle, I'm saying, all right, let's go to air raid offense right here. We got two great receivers. Test out their corners. They're not going to expect, the run. And that's what I would have or they're not going to expect the pass. That's what I based my first 15 plays off of. That first drive, that first two drives, throw it up. Let let Lockett, let Metcalf make plays. Let Geno show his arm talent. Show him that it's still there, because it is. And score some points. But when you're just constantly running it down their throats against a Pittsburgh defense, you're not gonna win.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's all.
I don't, I
That's all
don't,
I
I don't,
really
re-
gotta
I don't
say with
really have
that.
anything to add. You pretty much hit it on the spot.
Yeah, I know. I'm good at this.
Moving on to my worst game, and I would have to say that is the Chargers in Baltimore, uh, 6-34. Golly, man. As much as I want to shit on the Ravens have been playing some damn good football this season. Um, and the Chargers, who are supposed to be a massive threat to any team, did not have a good day.
I really think it was just an off day.
It,
I don't think
it, it
there's anything
happens. No.
totally wrong with them. I think it's just, no, Herbert didn't get any help. He was constantly
Mm-hmm.
scrambling. His receivers had a shit ton of drops. Uh, the defense, did not play. They didn't play very well. I think they expected Lamar to do a lot more running. The running backs, they when they did like planned running plays, they did fine. But they did do a lot of like contain plays, and Lamar just took full advantage of that and just threw a lot of short to medium passes up the middle, and that like really solidified it for them. Was their dominance on the ground, and then when they weren't handing it off, Lamar just knew where to put it, and I'll give him props. And earlier when I said there was a most well-rounded team, I think it's Baltimore right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it.
you're not. I actually full heartedly agree with you.
They,
They've been practicing. Lamar's been throwing a lot more, and he looks decent at throwing. He's not the most elite thrower, but he can make the passes that he needs to make, and it looks
it's
good.
it's his deep balls. That's the only like issue with Lamar is throwing it deep. Um, if you're doing those short and medium passes, he's great. If you want him to scramble or even designed run like up the middle or outside, fantastic for that. Um, he really is proving us wrong this season because we've been sort of hating on him,
I thought he would not have a good
but
year. I thought he would
he's having a
digress
much
this year,
better year than I anticipated, and he's proven us wrong. So
which
all
is
the more to him.
what I would always want. Because again, I love good football. It adds to excitement. It
Yeah,
adds for this team's playing the Ravens or this team's playing that team. This is going to be a good game. Um, I shit on the Ravens as a bit, but fuck you, Ravens. Um, you know, but and then the Chargers, like it happens. Like the first week, the Packers just did not have a good day, and it happens. Sometimes things just don't click, and then you don't get a rhythm, and nothing else happens. Nothing else comes from it. The
yep.
Chargers are not in a bad spot. Their schedule, I don't think, is that bad. Their
No, I would
divisional
not worry
games,
about the Chargers.
they can win their divisional games.
They can win against the Broncos. I still think that the Raiders got some fight left in them, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and
If the Chiefs can
we're
figure out how to play
we'll have to
football
see with
again
that.
and how to be the Kansas City Chiefs, and of course
I think they
the
can.
Raiders are going to be a toss up. It's going to be a fight either way.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are in a fine spot because you look at their next few games now. Patriots, Eagles, Vikings, Steelers, Broncos.
Oh shit.
And then they go Bengals, Giants, Chiefs, Texans, Broncos, Raiders. So they're 4-2. They probably win against the Patriots. Sorry, but probably win against the
Yeah, I
Patriots.
know.
They beat the Eagles. They beat the Vikings. They probably beat the Steelers. They beat the Broncos.
They beat the
In a
Bengals. Maybe the
in a
Bengals have
worst
been
in a
proving
worst
people
case,
wrong.
they lose to the Bengals. I could see that as a loss. Um, they beat the Giants. They're close with the Chiefs. They beat the Texans. They beat the Broncos. They're close with the Raiders.
Well, Uh, they won against the Raiders, so we'll maybe give it to them.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking in a worst case, you get what? One, two, three, four more losses in a worst case, which puts them at 11-6. And in a best case, they can run the table.
Yeah,
Like it's
they
a very winnable schedule. So
this
yeah,
is it happens to teams. It sucks to see them happening, but they can bounce back from it. They'll learn what they need to improve. They'll call a guy or two up from the practice squad, and they'll just keep moving on.
yeah. The one like concern for me is the defense for Los Angeles. They haven't been showing too much out there, but The offense is usually electric. Was not. That's just an off day for them. But don't worry about them. Baltimore, I still think, is probably the most well-rounded team. Not like star players at each position, but good players at each position,
Mm-hmm.
to where it like, and good depth. Now that they've signed 40,000 free agents to cover up their injuries. So yeah, that brings us to that certainly was a game. So it's not Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Because we
Or
just went
I
over them.
is this the first time it's not Baltimore?
Yes, it is. They had a 5 week going.
A 5 week streak of Baltimore. Well, we chose. Or I should say I chose. I usually
You
choose
do.
these.
I do the production side. Anthony takes care of all the background stuff.
Yeah. Um. So I chose Minnesota at Carolina.
And I would agree, actually.
No one wanted. The only person I think who wanted to win this game was Sam Darnold. Cause you look at his stats, he's throwing like 40 passes, and I think I gotta take a
I
look at
think it
this.
was 17 for 41.
Was it 17 for 41?
Uh,
That sounds right.
I'll go check.
Let me check real quick. 17 for 41,
Oh, look at
200
me.
207 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Man's throwing 40 passes and he completes under half. Under half is under like 60%. I consider bad.
Now,
60 to 70 is okay. 70 plus is like usually good.
I didn't watch a ton of this game.
I
how
watched
are
the
the
highlight.
receivers?
Oh, they dropped a lot. I'd say they dropped 50%.
So 50 of his missed throws were him, 50 were
50 of his missed throws were probably drops. Or 50% of his missed throws are probably drops.
Mhm.
That's what I would say. But man, it was a game. The Vikings kicker did not want them to win a game. I think he missed 2 field goals in this game. And then I don't even know.
What is it with kickers this week and like last week?
I was gonna
And
bring up
the only good kicker we'll get to was fucking Jacksonville, who has not hit a field goal yet. And motherfucker hit two.
Yeah, there were 2 missed field goals in the fourth quarter for Minnesota. But I was gonna bring up how kickers rebounded, cuz there were some. I was watching the replays on NFL YouTube because that's what I normally do because I can't watch all the games. I'm only one person. But like, you know, Tyler Bass had some nice kicks. A bunch of other teams had really good kicks. And then I watched this one and it was not good. I think he hit one at no, he hit two, both in the first quarter. And those were the only two that he hit, I think. But man, was this a game. There was a blocked punt that was returned for a touchdown. So that's cool, I guess. But yeah, that certainly was a game.
Not the most exciting. That certainly was a game.
Oh,
Pending TM.
the first play was also an interception. Sam Darnold
It's
threw
a
an
week of
interception.
interceptions, isn't it?
There were a lot of picks this week.
Um, we'll get to that relatively soon. But moving on to Thursday night football, Tampa Bay, or as my grandfather would say, my boy Brady,
Tampa Bay, you mean?
in Philadelphia,
I'm gonna
winning
try to bring back
28 to
Tampa Bay.
22. I was on the phone with my grandfather talking football, and he went, "Oh, my boy Tom Brady on Thursday Night Football," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Okay, Grandpa. You should tell him about the Minga Sports podcast.
He would watch every episode, unironically.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
But I cuss, so he wouldn't like that.
Oh, he doesn't like you swearing?
No. Well, my grandmother done. He might not care. Anyways, that's not what this is about. um, Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts has not been playing terrible.
I wouldn't put him as a top 10 or probably not even top 15 quarterback, but he's good.
He
He's good
struggled
outside of the
last year.
pocket.
Yeah.
Well, last year there was a lot of drama between like Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, people
yeah.
shat on him last year, but he wasn't supposed to play last year.
Yeah. I'm not like I'm not going to base like this year off of last year. He's
Mm-hmm.
going in off of like barely practices. Carson he has to deal with the whole Carson Wentz Doug Peterson thing. And
Everybody in Philadelphia owns a Carson Wentz jersey.
yeah, and what is it? Doug Peterson doesn't know how to use a mobile quarterback correctly. So, he's coming in with Nick Sirianni, and he's playing good despite not great play calling, in my opinion. Um, he's great when he gets outside the pocket. He's got a decent arm, which is, rare in mobile quarter in like, you know, dual threat quarterbacks, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But what I saw from the Bucks was like a big flaw in their secondary. They had one pick, I think, that was just gifted to them essentially off a deflect, I think. But that's their major point of concern. Their offense can score points. We've seen that time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
Their defensive front is a lot of big guys that can get to a quarterback. But the secondary just being injured terribly is really hurting them. And I think they can start losing a lot of closer games
I
in
mean,
the
to
future.
be fair, they almost lost to New England.
They did almost lose to New
And,
England.
ooh, it's a rain game. Shut up. That's football. How many times have Brady played in the rain, especially in Foxborough?
Yeah. They play the Bills later this season, which I think is going to be their biggest test, and I think that's their last test. Oh my god, their remaining schedule is so easy.
Is it the Bucks?
The Bucks' remaining schedule is so easy.
Let me take a look.
Bears, Saints,
Holy
Washington,
shit.
Giants, Colts, Falcons, and then Bills. And then Saints again, Panthers, Jets, Panthers. Damn.
Fuck you, Tampa Bay.
Damn. No, this is good because then they're gonna face all these easy opponents and then get shit on in the playoffs because they're not gonna know what real talent is or what a playoff team is. They're playing one playoff team, I think.
And then they're
That's the
gonna
Bills.
be upset that they didn't bring in that a lot of new people. But uh yeah, that's not good that I understand like why they would bring everybody back, but eh.
You're not improving your team at that point.
Yeah, you're
You're
already
bringing
good,
back
and
your
I'm
starters.
sure that Bruce Arians trusts his guys. But
Hmm.
there was surely, I don't remember what their flaws were last year, but there's surely something that wasn't perfect that you could improve upon.
Yeah, if you are bringing back all of your starters after a Super Bowl run, that means that you're probably spending more money on them because you know they're Super Bowl. They helped you win a Super Bowl. Uh, that means that you're spending more money on cap, which means you're spending less on depth, which means you're getting worse depth players. Which in a season, where you got riddled with corner or secondary injuries, now it makes sense. I think Richard Sherman got put on the IR too, so that's funny.
Um,
But they're getting rid of good depth, and the only real pieces that they're adding are rookies. So I
And
don't know if that's the way to go about it, but it's the way they did.
Eagles fans, you've just you know, Zach Ertz arrived in Arizona, so that happened. You don't have a
Yeah.
very good tight end.
Well, Philly has Dallas Goddard. That's who they've been running with
Oh,
mostly.
that's true, actually.
Dallas
Yeah.
Goddard isn't a bad tight end. He plays good football. He's a big dude. They've been using him as tight end one for a little bit as well, I think. Cause just getting him the reps so they can ship Hurts off.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know. I don't know why they even want to get rid of him. He's like a fan favorite, but whatever.
Uh, yeah. I think we covered that. Moving on to the next game, the London game, Miami against Jacksonville, which was the home team because, uh,
The London Jaguars is gonna happen soon.
honestly,
Just you wait. Just you
if the
wait.
Jaguars move to London, I won't be surprised. It's a huge possibility that could become reality within the next, good couple years.
Decade maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's too many logistical things with that.
Um,
I don't think it's
but
gonna
if
happen.
they were to move out of Jacksonville, that is extremely likely where they would go.
Yeah.
Um, Urban Meyer has his first win as a head coach in the NFL, which you could say is big. Oh, good, but he hasn't been showing he has what it takes to be an NFL head coach so far. Yeah, he's on the
Yeah.
Jaguars, but what has he done? What has his team done under his coaching?
Urban Meyer has yet to win an NFL game in America.
This is
I just
true.
like to state that. That's just a fun fact you know I thought was funny.
Um, but what I thought was funny is the homie interceptions that happened this game. So
No, there was a homie interception.
there was, I forget who threw it first. I
Let me
think
check real quick.
it was Jacksonville who threw it first. I think Trevor Lawrence threw a pick, and then Tua went and threw a pick immediately after, like the
It
very
wasn't.
next play.
It wasn't a homie intercept. It was Jacksonville fumbled it,
Oh, here we go.
And
Yeah,
then
Trevor
Tua
Lawrence
threw a
was
pick.
sacked and he fumbled, and then on the very next drive, Tua threw an interception,
Yeah, that was the homie interception.
which was a bad interception. It was
it
there
was
was his
it was a
receiver was
funny one
not
though.
in the shot of in the camera shot
Yeah, it was a
at
funny
all.
one. I think I watched this full game, and I was just the first half was probably the one of the cleanest halves of football I've seen in a while. It was like there was good movement. Uh, it was great defense, like forcing punts and it was good decisions, just not executed correctly. Though it started out touchdown, field goal. Um, and then the second half started, and it all went downhill.
Yeah.
It was not good at all.
I
But
watched,
it
I
was fun.
think, like the end of the second quarter is when I started watching.
The end of the second quarter,
But yeah.
you're the cause.
Am I?
You're the reason why it wasn't a good game.
Well, good because a division rival lost and Jacksonville got a win, which, looking at their schedule, the only chance they had for a win, honestly, was the Texans or Jets later in the season.
Yeah.
What, week 14 and 15?
Oh, they go back to back with the Texans and Jets.
Yes.
That's good for them. But let's talk about Miami for a second.
It was Tua's
Um,
first game back. He had been out for what, 2 games?
2 games, but like still, you didn't. They didn't play too. They haven't been playing great. They haven't been playing good, I should say.
Which I was very afraid that, Miami was going to be a good, bad threat in my division.
Yeah, their one close game was against the Raiders, or the one close loss, I should say, was against the Raiders and the Jags. They got shut out by the Bills. They
Hmm.
got crushed by the Colts, and then they got dominated by the Bucks. But like losing to like those are good teams, but still losing to Jacksonville with during head coach drama or whatever, haven't won a game, and I travel to London, and I thought they were gonna win, and then they lose, and like when are they gonna like how low does this set the bar? Miami plays against Atlanta, Houston, and the Jets twice, and I think that's their only few hopes at winning, though if they keep playing this way. And the Giants. I forgot the Giants. I'm just so used to giving the Giants a win because I have hope, and then they lose every time. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe the Giants win.
I'll give it to you. I say the Giants win.
Fuck yeah. Maybe if we're not injured to shit, we can win.
Um, but yeah, this was just not a good game of football. Yeah, Jacksonville. Oh, okay. We, gotta talk about this. So, it was a 53 yarder to, I don't remember if it was to tie or to take the lead.
It was to tie.
I think it was to tie, yeah. It was a slider. Man kicked a slider because he kicked it far right, and then the wind said and blew it back left, and it just snuck in.
It's like he kicked a draw.
It was
Like it started out good, and then it went way to the right, and then it snuck right in way to the left.
I went nuts. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then to the game winner, which yeah, it was like 4 seconds left. It was a 52 yarder, and it looked pretty good. I think that one was pretty straight, if I remember right.
It was on the right hash, but it was straight from the right hash, so it like barely snuck in there again.
And then the team crowded the field to um you know be excited with their, now have a win, but their kicker, who has made 2 field goals the entire season.
They picked him off the street like 2 days before the game.
Hmm? Oh, that's not their normal
Did you not
kicker?
hear? No, that's not their normal kicker. Their normal kicker is Josh Lambo.
Oh,
Josh
well,
Lambo got hurt, I think, last week. So they picked him up this week,
oh, good for
and
them.
he did that. So yeah, that's funny. That's like the best part. They picked this dude up. That he's like, "Hey, you wanna kick for us?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, sign this contract. By the way, you're going to London this week, and you gotta kick against the Dolphins."
Gotta be real. I didn't know the name of either of them, so you know, why
He,
Jacksonville
what?
kickers.
Oh, I don't remember the one who made it. I know Josh Lambo just because he's like actually a good kicker.
I think uh his last name starts with, like, I think it's Wright.
It's an
Is his
M,
last name.
or no, it is right. It's something right. It's like Matt Wright or something.
Brandon Wright
Brandon
is this
Wright.
guy's name. He is
No,
24
it's
out of
Matthew
Georgia.
Wright.
Well, Google told me
It's Matthew Wright, and
Brandon
you.
Wright.
I did not. I. You're looking at someone else, buddy.
Ah, my bad.
Who are you looking at? I would just like to.
Oh wait, no, wait, what?
What? Did they just not get his name right?
Oh, no, yeah, actually my bad. Uh Brandon Wright is from Georgia, but he goes to a Georgian high school. And his or no, he goes to a some college, I don't know. Georgia
Huh.
State. He goes to Georgia State, and
Ah,
their uh mascot is the Panthers.
nice.
He looks
Oh,
like
he's their
the
place kicker
girl.
and punter.
Yeah, that's why I got confused because it said he was the punter, and I was like, oh, so they have two rights. That's weird.
No.
Um, he looks like the girl at the dentist in Nemo. So if you can envision that, that's what this man looks like.
Yeah, that's, just from this picture, maybe, but otherwise, no, he doesn't.
No, but the his college picture is he has
Picture, yeah.
braces and he has a big smile.
Yeah, he does.
All right,
Anyways,
moving on to the
next
1 o'clock
game.
games. Uh,
Rams at Giants.
I
Um,
I just want to point out something.
I'm
The
sad.
game just started, and because it was
Oh
a good
no.
drive, and Anthony goes, "Man, the Giants actually look kind of good." And
I said
then
they look good. I don't know how to feel right now.
they
Because that means we're either gonna blow up or play close, which shouldn't be happening. Because we're bad against a good team. And then it blew up, man. It really blew up.
like 28 scoreless or
38
third.
scoreless. They went on a 38-0 run.
Mm.
We scored first and we scored last, and those were our only scores. But first drive of the game, it looks good. Like we are actually moving the ball very efficiently, very good. We take up like half a quarter, then we get to the red zone, and Kadarius Toney gets hurt, and then we shit the bed, but we kick a field goal, so it's 3-0.
Was
And then
didn't
I
you
think we,
wasn't it was a touchdown pass, but it got called back. But
yeah,
because there was, I'm assuming.
no, it was just it was gonna be PI, and then it wasn't PI, so they called it back in the end zone. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But and then we just shit the bed after that.
There's not much more to say. Uh, Matthew Stafford, good quarterback, just throwing some good balls. Uh,
Yeah, as the second this like the actual second that the second quarter started, it was all over. The Rams' next 5 drives were touchdown, touchdown, punt, touchdown, touchdown. And
Also,
man,
after having to kick a field goal, I forget when it was in like the third or fourth quarter. Sean McVay was upset they didn't get a touchdown when they were up
John
35
McVay was upset at the end of the game
because they didn't score
because they didn't.
more.
He was upset that they played the first quarter so poorly. He said that in a post game press conference, and as
Ah,
a Giants fan, that just hits. That's like, damn,
that's
that
like
kind of
someone getting a
hurts.
99 on a test and being really, really pissed off.
Being pissed. No, not even. That's like 97.
Ah, yeah, true.
Because they let us score. But so Kadarius Toney got hurt with an ankle. CJ Board, our he was our fifth string wide receiver, but for this game he was our second. He got carted off with a broken arm.
Oh,
Andrew Thomas re-aggravated an ankle injury. Um, so that's fun. all these things are fun as a Giants fan. Saquon's still out for a few weeks. I don't know when
Saquon's
Galladay and
ankle is like twice the size it should be, and for not good reason.
I don't know when Galladay or Slayton are gonna return. I'm assuming CJ Board isn't gonna return for a while. Kadarius Toney's probably not gonna come back for another few weeks. So it's just the Shep show, you know?
It's so upsetting to see.
It's the Shep show right now.
Like, I'm not a Giants fan, nor will I ever be because of
You don't
some
typically like the Giants
fucking
because of
asshole
a
named
couple
Eli
games.
Manning.
What do you mean asshole? Are you kidding? Have you seen Eli Manning's Twitter?
No, I know he's a meme, but like on the field, he's a fucking prick,
No,
and
he's
I will
awesome.
never forgive him for what he did
I
to
don't,
us.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's the greatest player ever.
But otherwise, it's so sad because again, I want to see good football. I don't want to see teams failing. It's just not fun to watch, and it's just upsetting because you want everybody to succeed. You want close games. You want nail biters because they're just so much better to watch.
If you want to see a team collapse at the beginning of a season, you just the Giants from this season is that's your team.
Did you win your first game? What was your first game?
No, our first game was against Denver. Our
Oh,
win was against the Saints in the Superdome somehow. I think
I was
Jameis
just
just had an
thinking
off day, maybe.
that was that was a LASIK Jameis day. If we're doing the
Was it?
math, yes.
Oh yeah, it was.
If we're doing the
Yeah, no,
math,
we just came out
never
clutch, you know.
mind. Remember what when I said we're doing the math?
Yeah,
I can't do math. That was a 19 Jameis day.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Sorry, I'm a business major.
Yeah, you don't do math.
Yeah, we don't do that around here.
Yeah, so Rams destroy a broken Giants team. So that's all that really needs to be said. Next game, Green Bay at Chicago. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears.
He still owns the Bears, should we
Did you
say?
see? Did I send you the Wikipedia page?
Yes.
Someone
Someone
changed the
changed the
Wikipedia
owner
page for the
of the
Bears.
Chicago Bears to Aaron Rodgers. And that is hilariously true.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers had a great game because he's Aaron Rodgers, so whatever. Justin Fields did not have a great game.
And this is where our bust prediction comes in because he has the talent but he does not have the quarterback
I'm
knowledge.
like I'm noticing something. His decision making is very bad. When he's at like the 30, all right, or not like the 30 or the 40, is like on in enemy territory. He If he doesn't have anything there and he's under pressure, he will just throw it to the end zone. He did it twice in this game where nothing's there, he's in the pocket, and when he's in the pocket, he panics so bad. Probably worse than any other quarterback I've ever seen. Where he immediately gets under pressure, he sets his feet, and he just hucks it into the end zone. And this should have gotten picked off twice, but one of them it got picked off once and it was clean, and then the second time he did it, it got picked off. But the defender stepped out of bounds on accident towards the back of the end zone. So if you're trying to throw it away, that's not the way to do it. You throw it to the sidelines out of bounds. But if you're trying to, there were no receivers anywhere near that. So I don't know what he was trying to do, but it wasn't good. It wouldn't help the team.
Yeah.
So that's all I really have to say about Justin Fields is he needs to definitely get his
Oh
decision
wow.
making
A rookie
up
is
to
not
par.
performing? Who could have thunk?
Who could have thunk?
Like, yeah, at most positions, but for guys who are there for long periods of time, such as the quarterback, need to learn how to play quarterback in the NFL and not just wing it, which is what's happening. It's different. Like, yeah, he has Andy Dalton who could give some tips, but it's better when you can watch Andy do what he says. And when
Yeah.
Andy makes a play and he goes back and says, "This is why I did that," and I don't blame Justin Fields for it, but it's a competitive league. A lot of people know how to throw the football well. Very few know when to throw it and where to throw it.
Yeah, and Justin Fields, everyone's like seeing him as this next new age dual threat quarterback. And yeah, he's good outside of the pocket, but most dual threat quarterbacks have the ability to think and have a brain stock.
Well, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh. Yeah, that's a I
We'll get into that later.
I have a take on that. It's not. I don't think it's totally Mahomes' fault.
No, I was kind of making a joke. I know Mahomes is elite.
Yeah, but
Uh,
yeah, the Packers are good. The Bears are
eh.
mediocre yet again.
I think that's the perfect way to sum up the Bears. Eh.
Eh, that's the only word.
But I forgot to mention earlier, made me think of it. Uh, Back to the Browns game. They scored 14 points, 6 of which was a Hail Mary.
Oh, the Baker
The
Hail
Hail
Mary,
Baker, as they called it,
the Hail
because they
Mayfield,
called. Oh, that's what it was. Hail Mayfield. Because of Hail Murray.
Hail Murray.
It looked good. I mean, it didn't look like it felt good because he threw his body into it because he threw
Yeah,
across the field. But his receiver was wide open.
that is it. No, I will.
I
I
mean,
will
it well,
give it.
obviously not, but like in
I
the
will give it to
context of
Donovan. Donovan Peoples Jones, I think, will be an elite receiver in the league. I really think he will. He fits well right now as like their 3 guy or their 2 guy with Jarvis out. But I think he has potential to be a number 1 receiver in a couple of years. And you can quote me on that.
we sure will catch
Yeah, you
the Minga
better.
Sports podcast 2 years from now when
Yeah,
it's
when
on
Donovan.
Fox.
Yeah, and Donovan Peoples Jones is balling out for the Detroit Lions.
Oh, and then
Speaking of
and then
which,
years down the line when he'll be asking for his money. Nice segue. The
yeah,
the Lions got dicked down by the Bengals, who are now a good team and they're showing it week after week.
I'm a big fan of the Bengals being good.
I love
I don't
Joe
know
Burrow.
why. They're such an easy team to root for.
They are.
Like
They
you've always seen them as bad, or if they do,
well,
like
I kind of disagree because
if
they've
they
been
manage to do good things, they lose it immediately.
yeah. I agree with that because in the past like decade or two, they've made the postseason a lot.
Andy Dalton has made the postseason a decent amount, but then they always just lose in the first round, and it's usually to Pittsburgh somehow.
Well,
But
Big Ben used to not be a geriatric old man.
that's true. This is true. But the Bengals have looked very good, and Detroit has looked not good, to say the least. But Dan Campbell, the Lions head coach, has said that they need more out of Jared Goff if they want to win games.
He
Do
yeah
you
he called
agree? Do you
he
agree or disagree?
well first off I love Dan Campbell's coaching style and calling out Jared Goff, but it's not just Jared. I will say there has been some questionable things where he plays like pussy Jared Goff, is where he sees anything goes bad and he sits there and he takes the sack. He does that a lot. And you could
That's how
see it
he's
on
played.
film.
That's
That's
how he's
that's
always
how
played.
he plays, is he just takes the sack.
It's because when he played for the Rams, they had a very solid offensive line, so he didn't have to do that a lot. And now he goes to Detroit, where they don't have a very
He did it on the
good.
Rams too.
Yeah, well,
Whenever
when
the
he
line
had to,
Yeah.
but like he didn't have to do it as much as he did in Detroit.
And Jared Goff also, he likes to complain to the refs a lot. He likes to, have make sure they hear him, and if he sees something, the refs will know, because Jared, he he's a bit of a crybaby on the field. I
He
will
is a
say.
crybaby.
He's made it to the Super Bowl, so there's no doubt about, he does have pretty good talent. Um, I think Detroit's a good spot for him, because I don't think the Rams would have really done much with him.
No,
However,
the Rams knew that they needed to upgrade, and they did. They got a veteran who, a seasoned veteran who is very, good, just in a bad spot. So they were like, what if we put our guy who isn't fitting with us there so we can get our guy, and we'll also send them a shit ton of draft picks. And that's what they did.
and it works out.
And it works out very well.
Honestly, the Lions are just stuck in such a weird place.
They're forever cursed with being bad.
Yeah. And yes, I agree, Jared does need to show a little bit more leadership and a little bit more like fire to his play, but the quarterback is not the only person on the field.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other people that need to make plays on the field. Like Penny Sewell. You haven't heard much from him. You know why? Because he's just doing his job, honestly.
Yeah,
He
no,
just sits there, he
you only
blocks, and
hear
that's it.
the only
It's
person
good.
whose name you don't want to hear is your offensive lineman.
And
When
I
your
haven't.
offensive linemen get called, that's a bad thing. And you have not heard a lot from him, which is a good thing.
He dominated, Nick Bosa? Or no, Joey.
Was
I
it?
get him confused. Chargers.
Yeah, Joey.
Joey, okay. He dominated Joey Bosa. Like, he just couldn't do anything.
That's funny. Wait, what? What game are you talking about?
Am I getting wrong? What I remember they played at some time. I just remember the film.
No, the Chargers didn't play. They played the Niners,
Okay, then
so it
I was
probably
thinking of
was
Nick.
Nick
Okay, I
Bosa.
was right. I was right.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, just he's playing good. It sucks that it's weird because the Bengals were like, why would you take Jamar Chase? Like, obviously he's gonna be a good player, but like, why not get the best lineman to come out of the draft in a long time?
Yeah.
And like, obviously there's good linemen, but like a stud. Um, and Jamar Chase has paid off for them, I will say. They have that good. Joey B and Jamar Chase have that good connection,
Yeah, there's a
but
big
also
connection between them,
their
which is
line
good.
kind of crumbles.
Yeah, but if you could just get it out to Jamar quick, then it's easy.
Yeah, I guess.
There's always next year to draft an offensive
It's
lineman.
always next year.
It's always next year. Next game was Houston at Indy. Indy just kind of dominated on both sides of the ball. They got 4 interceptions off of Davis Mills, and they scored 31.
What I was hoping, and what I kind of, well, I guess what I was just hoping, is Carson Wentz is getting comfortable in a new team. He has a new environment. He has new teammates, relatively new coaching. And he's just playing better. He's figuring out football again, and it's good because I don't love Carson Wentz. I'm not like a big fan, but I want
I'm
him to
not a fan.
succeed. I want to because there was a lot of shit on him, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's digressing. He's not doing great, I love seeing guys doing better and succeeding. And this is just what he's been doing. He's been getting better every week, which is what you want to see. And that's kind of it. Just good.
Yeah,
Good
and
game for Indy.
I do think that the defense stepped up a lot, holding the Texans to 3, getting 4 picks. Like that's hard to do.
And Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back. Whoa.
Oh, what a
Man
game he had.
man is good at football.
He can run.
He
Boy can
certainly can
run.
do that.
Boy can run. That's all I can say
What
about
he
him.
had let's see 145 yards that game. 2 touchdowns
Yeah.
on 14 attempts. That is great.
Yeah, he played a game. It was all right.
He did.
Decent. It was
Uh,
decent.
Moving on to our final 1 o'clock game, it would be Kansas City in Washington.
I just
Uh,
want to touch on the Sean Taylor jersey
mhm.
retirement ceremony. That was fucking awful. That's like disgraceful what they did to him. Um, for those who don't know, Sean Taylor was murdered in his home in when he was 24. He was probably one of the most promising players, one of the most promising safeties, players in general, I'd probably say, to come into the league. He's a young guy. He had already had 2 Pro Bowls by age 24. He had that like infamous Pro Bowl hit, which is one of my favorite plays ever. I could watch that forever. And he passed away after getting shot during a robbery in his own house. And, they decided to retire his jersey. That's a good thing. The bad thing is they planned it 3 days before the game. So they announced it on Thursday. And in a time when everyone would probably want to go see it, they couldn't. The Giants retired Eli's number in September. I think they announced it in like July.
They
And
did.
they're announcing or they're retiring Strahan's number in November, and I think they announced that in August. August or September. So to do this 3 days in advance, already off to a bad start. Then the family goes to take a picture with the owners, Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder is in a hoodie, wrinkled khakis, and slippers for this meeting before the game. There's another bad start. The next bad thing is Jackson Mahomes is at this game.
Oh,
So that's, Jackson Mahomes, awful person. I hate Jackson Mahomes.
he's been a real piece of shit this season. Gotta say, he
He's just a piece of shit.
uh
There's
Patrick,
nothing more to say
yeah,
about that.
Patrick needs to whip some sense into him because yeah, it's not him doing it, but it
He's
reflects
getting,
on
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes himself and it reflects on the family, which is very not good.
It's like when you go to a grocery store, all right, and you see this little fucking toddler bawling his eyes out throughout the entire store. That reflects poorly on the mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like what this is. Like the mom's trying her best to keep Mahomes shut, or to keep the baby shut, but it's not working. And Patrick Mahomes needs to use more enforcement. Um, but anyways, the VIP area that Jackson Mahomes was in at this was where Sean Taylor's number 21 was painted on the field, and he did a TikTok dance on it because he's funny TikTok guy, haha. So he did a TikTok dance on this, and it was seen as very disgraceful.
It was. That you shouldn't be
So,
doing that.
so there were just a lot of issues. And then, oh yeah, and then they also named a road after him right outside the stadium, and they hung up the street sign a bunch above a bunch of porta potties. So just horrible,
See,
horrible management.
Dan Schneider, already a piece of shit, is just using this as like, oh, this is really nice, Sean
He's
Taylor.
using this to get
He's
away from the
it's a distraction to take away from all the shittery of what he's doing, what he does.
the investigation that John Gruden got fired from is because they're investigating the football team.
Yeah,
Bruce Allen and the which is some exec for Washington. I think it's like I don't know exactly his role, but Bruce Allen, very important guy with this team, was texting or emailing with this with the NFL's personal lawyer with similar emails that John Gruden had. And there has been zero repercussions so far for them, even though John Gruden was fired almost immediately.
he was.
So
Yeah,
just the culture of Washington
we haven't even
sucks.
gotten to the game yet.
It's awful. I hate Washington. I don't hate them as a division, as like a divisional rival. I think if I were any other, like if I were a New England fan, I think Washington would probably be my least favorite team just because of off-field stuff. Like this kills your franchise. It kills ticket sales. And like they're not even doing anything about it. They're just turning a blind eye, and that just pisses me off. Anyway, to the game.
Mm-hmm.
um
Also, not a great game.
no, both
Kansas
defenses
City 31,
suck.
Washington 13.
This proved that Washington is a bad team. Their defense was so underwhelming. And we've been saying this the past couple weeks. It's like probably one of the most overrated defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And their offense isn't good either. Taylor Heineke, I do not think is a solution at quarterback. The Chiefs have had a sorry defense, and they still only put up 13. And that's just not good. But Mahomes needs to prevent his interceptions. He had one. He had two in this game, but he had one where he's getting hit, and he's about 2 feet from the ground, like from his head hitting the ground, and he just tosses a floater up, probably like 20 feet in the air, and just
Oh,
lets a defender catch it. Like it was not good. The other one I think was tipped, so he's not getting help from his receivers either. So that's why it was like it's not totally Mahomes' fault. He's not getting any help from receivers when he's trying to make these plays, but some of them he is doing himself. But 8 interceptions. He's in the bottom 3 for interceptions.
he has
I think
8?
Zach. He has 8.
Oh, I thought he
I
had 11.
No, it was 11 turnovers for the
Ah,
Chiefs.
that must be it.
But Trevor Lawrence has 8, and I think Zach Wilson has 9, and I think the next most is like 6. I don't know if anyone has 7 or not, but if he just prevents interceptions, they can score enough points to where I don't think it matters what the defense does. And I think it'd be fun to watch Andy Reid utilize that strategy. Just say fuck it, we go full offense, let our defense struggle. But it's not, you know, it's not the best thing for the team.
But what's gonna happen is if they want to make a deep playoff run, their offense has to step the hell up and like I mean, I was gonna say 31, but that's also against the football team. But they're gonna have to put up 31 in the playoffs, like each game, because their
Yeah,
defense, if they don't fix whatever it is, the trade deadline is coming up. They gotta figure something out. I don't know. I honestly don't know what they need to do. I mean, they need to fix their defense,
yeah. I think as
but
it goes, I think they're out of the playoffs right now, as everything stands. Uh, Let me double
anyways,
check. Yeah,
uh, but that's all. That's all. It's just a lot of bad football has been played this season. Got to be real.
yeah. It's not great, but it is what it is.
Uh,
Our next game was Vegas at Denver.
our 4 o'clock games. Yep.
So Vegas got rid of their head coach, or he resigned forcefully. Um, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna do bad." I thought they were gonna do bad. I picked Denver for this game.
Who did I pick?
You picked the Raiders.
That makes sense. What did I say by?
I think you said like by 6.
Ah,
But Raiders win by 10. And this really brings up the question of, is Teddy Bridgewater the answer
no,
for Denver?
no.
I don't think he is long term at all. I think Drew Lock was your guy, and I don't know if they're sitting him just for this season, just to get another, a veteran presence ahead of him. But it's not looking too great this year for Denver. Started out 3-0 and now they're 0-3.
Yeah, it's not good for them. The Raiders, they don't surprise me yet. It's a huge shift in locker room culture. Um, I don't remember the exact quote from Derek Carr, but he was like, "Love the guy, hate what he's done," or something. It wasn't that words
Yeah,
exactly,
it
but
was something along
the
that.
same meaning was he was like, I love our head coach, but he did shitty
Yeah,
things."
Darren Waller, their tight end, had the same mentality as that. Like he's like, I miss the man. He's great for me, but if he's gonna be like that, then good riddance.
Um,
He was still a great coach, but shit he did off the field, not gonna not gonna cut it.
but you also gotta lock in and realize that you have a job to do. You have a football game to play,
Hmm.
and in the
And they
moment
definitely realized that.
when you set the mood like pregame and all of that, it changes. Yeah, you have to. It's gonna be in the back of your mind that we don't have our head coach, but you're still a good football team and you still know how to play football, and they prove that self that it's obviously a setback, but it's not gonna be the biggest setback that could happen.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Denver's defense didn't really do much of note. They got a few pressures. I don't know if they got any. They didn't get many turnovers, but this is just kind of a boring game to watch. You know, they'd score sometimes, they'd punt sometimes. Not a lot of note happened. So 34-24, Vegas over Denver. Our final game,
This was my
Dallas
game.
Dallas at New England.
35-29. Only because of the touchdown scored in overtime. Um, this is not an upsetting game for me. I'm not too heartbroken that we lost. Mac Jones, when he was finally allowed to throw the ball, took one play to score a touchdown, 75-yard touchdown to Kendrick Bourne. Um, it it was not amazing to watch. I wrote that there. That doesn't exist. Um, we struggled. We were up for I think we were up the first half because they scored the Cowboys scored a touchdown and it was called back. So
At
it put us up like 14-3 or something like that,
it
or
was it was 14-10 at
14-10.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah. That because I was watching the highlights, and it wasn't a touchdown. He totally lost control as he was starting to go over the line. Um, and it was like he was already in the act of fumbling it before before he crossed the goal line. So it wasn't a touchdown. I don't care what anyone says.
We had a little too many 3-and-outs. Um, we ran the ball a lot. We like a lot. Mac Jones had 21 throwing attempts, 15 of 21, which is not bad. 229 yards, a lot of that being the 75-yard Kendrick Bourne touchdown. Um, and it was we had the ball, we were up, and we were up by like one, was it? And
Yeah,
we
I think so.
one or two, anyways. We had the ball a little over 2 minutes left, and Mac throws a pick, and it was his fault. Mac Jones, it was Kendrick Bourne and Trayvon Diggs, who has had 7 picks this season.
Yeah, I think 7.
This play was not Trayvon Diggs. He did not make this play. Mac Jones threw it too high for Kendrick Bourne. Mac Jones had thrown it a little bit down into his chest. It was just outside his fingertips, and it just fell into Trayvon Diggs' lap, and it was taken back for pick 6. Next play, Patriots get a touchdown, which I was very excited for, but then realized you just gave Dallas the ball with like a minute 39 on the clock,
That's
and
too much time.
that's way, especially with Dak, they took way too much time. They threw it to CeeDee Lamb, and it was just not good. We need to capitalize on our red zone offense is not amazing. It has flashes of what it could be, but it needs to be better. We need to convert on third down. We need to go for it on fourth down sometimes, because there were some times on fourth down where we could have totally made it, because when we throw the ball short, we make it. Even when we throw the ball long, we make it. It's just where I don't know. We need to stop making like pussy plays. We can't be this scared with Mac Jones, because he's shown he can throw the ball well when he's
Yeah.
allowed to let it loose.
I think it was Mina Kimes on ESPN that said the conservatism of Bill Belichick is hurting this team now.
It is.
Like the play calling and him, being so conservative with everything is it's actually being detrimental because again, you're not going for it on these crucial fourth downs and you're not calling any deep shots like at all.
And we don't have James White. We do not have our first string running back.
Yeah.
And we're still running the ball so much when, you know, 15 completions for 230 yards. Like, come on. He can throw the ball. He's proven we're a throwing team. We need to be throwing the ball a
What is
lot
it?
more than we are.
Didn't he go like 15 for 21 or something
Yes.
like that?
Yeah.
Like 21 passes in a game is nothing nowadays. Like
You
what
can throw,
Dan Jones threw 50 and he threw 3 picks.
you
Maybe not the best example, but
you throw
still.
10 times in a drive. And that's only one.
Well, maybe not throw 10 times in a drive. You usually get about 10 to 12 or I'd say 8 to 12 plays in a drive, right?
Mhm.
In a successful drive, you get 8 to 12 plays. If you're only like if you're running it on 75% of those, that's not good. That
It's
is like you're relying too heavily on the run and you're putting no faith in your quarterback at that point.
who has already proved himself. That's why I'm not upset that we lost because Mac had a good game. Mac's still proving himself. He's a youngin,
Yeah.
but this conservatism is literally killing us. There's been a lot of games where like this game, and Mac said it good. He said we're just a couple. We're a good team with a bad record, and we're 2 to 3 plays off from winning. Dolphins, we should have won that game. The Bucks, we could have won that game.
Very winnable.
Excuse me. Cowboys, we
Very winnable.
very couple plays winnable game. We can't. We're shooting ourselves in the foot with this play calling and relying way too heavy on the run, of which I will say we don't have a star running back. We don't have like a stud who's gonna give us 200 yards 150 yards a game. We just don't. And we have receivers who have proven they can do it if you just rely on them to catch the ball, which they've done. New England has improvements it needs to make to be a good team, because it has its flashes of being a great team, and it just is not capitalizing on its ups.
Yeah, it has so much potential, and like even still, you guys still have a shot at making the playoffs. But I don't think you'll be able to do anything with it.
I don't think we will.
I think give it a few years, you could see the Patriots making some good runs, but I don't know. It all depends on if there's a change in coaching style, so to say. But that's it
for our games,
I think, for the game recaps. So prediction records. Nacho got one perfect prediction this week, which was Jacksonville and Miami.
I said that Jacksonville would win by 3, which they did.
Yep. And we both went 9-7, which still keeps me 2 games up on Nacho. So I'm 31-17, and he is 29-21. But yeah, let's go to our other category for this week, which is we are 1/3 of the way through the season officially. What are your playoff predictions so far? Or yeah,
like an entire playoff bracket.
Yeah, give me your playoff bracket. What do you got? Let's go AFC first.
Ooh,
Would you like to hear the current first?
Sure.
Like what it would be if it ended?
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
So the Ravens would lock the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers would play the Steelers in the 2 versus 7. The Titans would play the Raiders as 3 and 6. And the Bills would play the Bengals at 4 and 5. What do you see? Do you see anything changing out of that?
What's wait, who's 2? Who's the 2 seed?
The Chargers.
And the Bills are the 4th, you said?
Bills are 4.
Who's the 3rd seed?
Tennessee.
They're not going to be the 3rd seed. Tennessee's not the 3rd seed.
I'll send you a screenshot.
Yeah, thank you. It is going to be close for. It is honestly Baltimore, the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Bills are going to be fighting heavily for that 1 seed. If Kansas City figures it out, which I honestly don't think they're going to figure it out for the 1 seed.
I don't think they'll be able to snag the 1, but I think they can go in there for playoffs.
Yeah. My prediction is that I'd say, ooh. Let me take one quick look at the Bills' schedule. It's not the easiest. I'll take the Ravens at the 1 seed.
Okay. I'll probably do the same.
I'll take maybe
I would keep the Chargers
Chargers
at the
at the
2.
2 seed and the Bills at
They
the
have an
3.
easier schedule.
Yeah.
Bills at the 3. Okay. I'd
Uh,
say Tennessee takes the 4 just because they're gonna be the ones out of the South.
Yeah.
I don't see I don't see Jacksonville or Houston putting up any fight.
No.
And Indy, I don't think they don't got much. So I don't think they even make it in my opinion.
Uh, wild card Bengals Kansas City.
And there's a third wild card now. Who's
Oh,
the third wild card?
I forgot. There's a new playoff.
I say Bengals at the 5, Cleveland at the 6, Kansas City at the 7. Cleveland's gonna figure it out late, but they're still gonna lose the North to Baltimore. Kansas City are probably gonna do the same. They're gonna start figuring it out. They have an easier schedule, win some divisional games, and then they'll get the 7. But Cincinnati, I think, can stay at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I would say for AFC.
Do you want to go through each like all the games or just the seeds?
No, just the seeds.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe we'll do games next time. Uh, and then NFC. There you go.
Thank you. I say Cardinals are taking the 1. I think they just have just an easy enough schedule to keep it. Rams I think are gonna come in hot at 2. And
I think
then
the Rams coming at. Wait. Who's gets the 1?
Cardinals.
Well, if Cardinals get the 1, the Rams can't get the 2
Oh,
because it's
silly
divisional.
me. That's the same division. It's weird having
I
a really
wish
good
that worked.
division.
Yeah, we haven't seen like a really good division in a while.
Um, and then I'd probably keep the Bucks at 2 just because they're the Bucks.
I'd put the Packers at 2. I think the Packers put on a better season than the Bucks.
Let me check. I think the rest of the Bucks schedule isn't
Oh
that
yeah, the Bucks.
bad.
Yeah, the Bucks
The
does have an easy
Packers
schedule.
still have an Arizona, a Chief, a Seahawk, a Rams, Ravens, Browns. So
Oh
I'd keep Bucks at 2.
yeah, yeah. Now that you're reading me that schedule, I'll agree with you. But they do get like 6 free wins from their divisional games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think yeah, Dallas
I
comes out
think
of the East,
Dallas.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll probably get the 4. I think it'll be a good 4 though. Like it won't be Washington has to win this division at 9-7 or whatever, 8-8. So they have to go in the 4 seed. I think it'll be like a respectable 4 where it's like an 11 or 12 win, season.
Mm-hmm.
But wild card is where it gets really interesting. It's
Uh,
got to be
the Rams are taking 1 easy.
the 5 has to be who the like second place in the West, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be if the Rams win, then it's the Cardinals. If the Cardinals win, then it's the Rams. I think that's automatic. As long as there's not a huge collapse by either of those teams.
Which I do not see.
And then the rest is just so interesting. Because unlike the AFC where there's a bunch of good teams that could be fighting for this spot, there's a bunch of bad teams. Which is funny.
Yeah. My I don't know. I think the Saints could maybe.
I think
It's
the
so
Saints.
because I want to say like Seahawks when Russ gets back, or the Niners, but also the Niners, maybe not. It'll be so difficult to tell.
I think the Saints and the Vikings. I think the Vikings make it as the 6, and the Saints make it as a 7. And I'm saying the Vikings because if you look at their games, they beat the Seahawks with Russ, which was a good win.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Lions, which they're the Lions, and they beat the Panthers, which is was a good team at the beginning of the season. And now you look at their losses. They lost to the Browns by a touchdown. They lost to the Cardinals by 1 off of a missed field goal.
Yeah.
And they lost to the Bengals by 3 off of them making a field goal.
And Justin Jefferson has been playing pretty good.
Yeah, so I mean the Vikings, the Cardinals and Bengals and Browns, we just said that they're playoff teams and those are their losses. Like and they're like close losses too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Vikings can make it. I think they're a good enough team to make the playoffs. My only concern would be their schedule. They play the Packers twice, the Rams, and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but other than that, they play the Bears twice, which they can go 1-1 probably. That worst case. They play the Steelers, which will be close. The Niners will be close, and they play the Chargers. I forgot about that one. But I also play the Lions again, so it depends on how they do with their remaining schedule. But I think they can make it.
Yeah. We've already made our Super Bowl predictions, like one of the first episodes.
Yeah,
We can recap. I said Rams Bills was mine.
I said Rams Browns, but
Mm-hmm.
I might start going back on the Browns. The Bills look too good right now. Even the Ravens, maybe I might take into consideration. But yeah, that's it for that. Let's go to our previews and predictions for next week, week 7. So the bye weeks are there's 6, which I don't know why there's 6 teams on bye. I feel like that's weird. I feel like it should always be 4, but whatever. Buffalo, Dallas, Minnesota, the Chargers, Jacksonville, and Pittsburgh.
I hate how the only team name you said was Chargers, and you named the city for the rest.
Well, because if I say LA,
Oh, true. Never mind.
then
No,
they're not
you're
gonna
right.
know
You're
which
right.
one. See, I be thinking
All
sometimes.
right, I see.
Yeah.
We just out of place.
Uh, Thursday night, Denver at Cleveland. Cleveland 3.5 point favorites. Who you got? Both 3-3.
Man. What was supposed to be an elite defense is not. That was, I guess, the end of the sentence. It's
Yeah,
they're
they're not. They really
they're not.
aren't, though. That's the thing.
Um, the Browns have shown flashes of what they want to be. Uh, but their defense needs work. Their offense needs a little bit of work. Um,
Yeah.
on
I
paper
don't
they
know. This is
shouldn't.
going to be a weird game, in my
I
opinion.
still think that Cleveland takes it by 10.
Cleveland takes it by 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cleveland takes it, but I think it's a lot closer. I think I'll say by 6. I
Mm-hmm.
think that it's going to be a lot closer, especially if Baker's injured, but Cleveland still wins it. The 1 o'clocks. Washington football team at the Packers. Packers are 9.5 point favorites and 5-1
Hmm.
against the 2-4 team. How much are you taking Green Bay by?
24.
24.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Yup.
I'm with it. Um, Green Bay's really good and Washington's really underwhelming. I'm gonna say by 17 though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's about what it's gonna
I'm
be.
feeling ambiguous.
Oh boy, I forgot. Oh,
Oh, you gotta write them down.
Kansas. Yeah, now I'm writing them down. I just somehow skipped over this game. Tennessee at Kansas City. Who you got?
Ah.
Or no, it's Kansas City at Tennessee. Kansas City 5.5 point favorites, even after Tennessee beat Buffalo. Kind of shocking, but who you got?
Derrick Henry has been shown to be an unstoppable force, and for that Kansas City defense, that's tough. I'm
Yeah,
sure Patrick Mahomes has been working a lot on his reads and been watching a lot of film. Um, you know, the Titans are a offensive sided team. Uh, but I think I'm actually going to still take the Titans by 7.
yeah. I think this is gonna be one of the highest scoring
No, by 8. By 8.
by 8. Oh, weirdo.
They're gonna go to for a
This
2 point somewhere in there.
this is gonna be probably one of the highest scoring games of the season, just because both defenses are well. Kansas City's has sucked as of late, and Tennessee's is kind of meh. But Tennessee, they got AJ Brown and Julio back with Derrick Henry. So Tannehill's going to be slinging it. And then you got Pat Mahomes, hopefully minimizing interceptions. He'll be slinging it to all of his offensive weapons. I'm going to say Tennessee by 3, though.
Hmm.
I think Tennessee takes the
That's
dub
that's
here.
fair.
So moving from one of the most exciting matchups to probably one of the most disappointing. Atlanta 2-3 are 2.5 point favorites against Miami 1-5.
I'm gonna take Matty Ice on this
I'm
one.
I'm gonna take Atlanta as well. I think this
Uh,
is good. This is probably the first real tank bowl of the
I'll
season.
just go 7. Honestly, I'll just go
Say
7.
7. I'll probably go 10. Miami has looked dreadful the past few weeks. So, like they got their first win
And they are
against the
not on
Patriots by
any
1, and they just have
momentum.
not been. They have negative momentum. I think.
But yeah,
Like it's bad. Um. All right, next. It's Jets week for New England. 7 point favorites at home. I already know who you got, but by how much?
Pats by depends on how much if Belichick grows a fucking pair of balls because we could put up like 21, no, like 14, but 17.
17?
No, I'm just saying like what we could put up on them.
Yeah.
Last time their defense did kind of pressure Mac a lot, but I feel like with that, I feel the Kendrick Bourne 75-yard touchdown pass put a little bit more confidence because uh on Mac Jones because he made a great decision. I'm sure the play was made for Kendrick Bourne, but it still took Mac to execute it, and he executed it well.
Mhm.
I'll just take him by, cause because I don't I know because judging by last time, uh oh, they're also in New England, of which um we have not gotten a win at home yet.
This is your first one at home.
This is our going to be our first win at home. Um, which because we were in MetLife and Zach Wilson saw a lot of ghosts that game. It's I'm really this is actually kind of difficult because I don't know if uh
13. That's my number. 13.
I'll go 14.
You just have to be difficult, don't you?
this is a tough choice. There's so many factors in this one.
There's so many You really want to get a perfect.
I'm
You want to get a
trying. I'm
perfect
really
so bad.
trying.
I can tell. You really want to get one. All right, 14. Next game, Carolina at the Giants. I don't even know who to pick.
Let's go Giants by 3.
You're picking Giants by 3. You know what? I'm with it. Giants by a touchdown. It depends who plays.
Oh man.
If
Oh wait.
It depends who plays, because if our
I
team is
s-
still injured to
I
shit,
know. I said it on a whim, but you guys don't have a single receiver.
are we still out? Like, I gotta check the injury report. Let me pull that up
Yeah,
real quick.
that's gonna decide because yeah, you could have
Ugh.
like
Yeah, it could be a lot.
you could have
Um,
nobody
Saquon is out. Oh, this
indefinitely.
is for week 6. Can
Hmm.
I not get a week 7? Can I not get a week 7 injury report? Here we go. Um, Andrew Thomas is out. CJ Board is out. Galladay, Slayton, and Tony are questionable.
Knowing
So
the
they're all
NFL today, they're all
questionable
gonna
today.
play because they've been playing
Knowing
everybody
the
through
NFL,
injuries.
yeah, they might play. They're all questionable, but
You know what?
uh,
You know what?
what? Let me see
Tie.
it. Ty. You think
Tie.
Ty?
Tie. Put it down. Tie.
I'll put it down. All right. All right. If you say so, I'll stick with Giants by 7. I think we got a shot at Carolina. They've looked awful, but yeah. All right. Uh, Cincinnati at Baltimore. Baltimore 6-point favorites. Who you got?
Now, I'm gonna put a lot of confidence in Joey B and
Me
say that they're
too.
gonna win by 3
Win by 3. I'm gonna
because
say they're gonna win by 10. I think
Baltimore
Baltimore
has
has an
been
off day.
playing again. Baltimore has just been like throwing the ball everywhere, and they haven't really been facing like a solid defense that's gonna hold them. I mean, you know, judging by recent events.
Yeah,
I think that the Bengal defense is not top elite, but they hold their
it's
own.
good. Their defense is actually
It's
good.
a good defense.
Like they have Von Bell and Jesse Bates. They have Chidobe Awuzie, who has definitely stepped up at corner for them. Like they're pretty good. Pretty good. I'm gonna say them by 10. I think Baltimore has somewhat of an off day, and Cincinnati just cranks out a W.
Next, going to our 4 o'clock games.
Vegas.
Eagles in Vegas.
Vegas are only 3-point favorites, but I think they're gonna win by 13. I think I think Vegas is a good team still, and Philly is, as always.
I I'll just say by 7, honestly.
7.
I don't think it's gonna because the Eagles' offense hasn't been terrible.
Yeah, that's fair. Are you watching the Sox game,
I
by the
say
way?
they yes.
Okay, making sure.
I'd say they put up a good fight. But yeah, what are you saying for this game?
Yeah, Vegas by 13.
Moving on to our next game of Detroit and LA for the Rams, and leave the poor fucking guys alone. They've had
leave,
enough.
leave the Lions alone.
Jesus Christ. They have to get fucking Matthew Stafford in the ass after they've had so many disappointing and close games. 0-6 team, only team without a win. Leave the fucking guys alone.
Detroit has to go into LA too. Like they're not even at home. They are on the road. Jared Goff visits what could have been his SoFi Stadium, but it now belongs to Matthew Stafford.
The Lions just are not gonna get. Oh no, they're not getting a break the rest of the season.
Oh no.
I mean, they go against the Eagles and the Steelers, which is
Those are possibly winnable.
Browns,
No,
Bears, maybe.
maybe.
Vikings, probably not. Broncos, maybe.
Probably not. Falcons.
Cardinals,
The Falcons.
Falcons,
The Falcons.
Seahawks, and Packers.
The Falcons. They can beat the Falcons, right? Surely.
Nah, Matty Ice, dude.
Surely they beat the Falcons. They got a shot against the Broncos and the Bears and the Eagles.
I'm gonna say 24.
24.
Yeah.
All right.
Or
Next
actually,
game.
wait, whoa, back up.
Whoa.
Judging by last game where they won by 27,
Yeah, I picked them by 38. Or not 38, 28.
25.
You and these weird scores, man. I don't know if it'll
Weird
ever
things
pay off, but
happens.
if it does.
If it does, fucking big.
Yeah. Houston at Arizona. Biggest spread of the season. And we got a new one. It was 16.5. It was some Buffalo game a couple of weeks ago. Now it's this Arizona game. Arizona 18.5. They're 6-0 against the 1-5 team. I don't see them losing. By how much do they win?
We'll go 35.
35?
No, wait. No, that's what they're gonna put. No, they're gonna win.
They're only gonna put up 35? You think?
Let me think. They're gonna go for up by 31.
31. I wouldn't be surprised if this is another shutout. I'm gonna say 42. 42 to nothing. 42 to nothing.
That
Let me call it right now. 6 touchdowns.
all right.
I'm calling it. Can't wait for it to be perfect next week. All right, Chicago at Tampa Bay. 12.5-point favorites are the Bucks.
I'm just. Oh, didn't the Bucks lost to Trubisky last year? Didn't they?
They did. They did. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Trubisky. I think Foles played that game.
Oh, that would be why.
I think Foles played that game.
Hey, yo, has Tom Brady ever beaten Nick Foles?
No, I don't think so.
I'll just say 14.
14?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 20. I think Chicago puts up a little bit of a fight, but not much. All right, moving on to Sunday Night Football. Indianapolis Colts are 2-4 versus the 49ers at 2-3. The Niners are 3.5-point favorites.
Well, I'm assuming Jimmy's not in.
No, I think Jimmy's back.
Is he?
I think so.
Because that very much changes the game.
It does very much change the game. He's still questionable, but he's participating in practices now. And I think Trey Lance is like somewhat hurt still.
Well, I'll go on the notion that he's in. That Jimmy is playing.
Yeah.
And I will say 49ers by 6.
By 6?
Yeah.
Um, damn, we've really predicted the same team every time, and I was gonna say the Niners, but I wanna choose a different team. So I want to choose the Colts by 7. I think
Okay.
it's gonna be close, but like both of these teams have been underwhelming so far.
Wait, what? It's week 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking for our next for the Monday Night Football game. It's an odd number, so you know what that means.
No, but they had a bye week.
Oh, oh, so
New Orleans had New Orleans had a bye week.
this is the unknown
This is the unknown. We
because
don't know if it's gonna be
it is
2019 or not.
technically a Jameis or a LASIK day, but they haven't had a 19 Jameis day yet because of the bye week. I will still give it to New Orleans, however,
Okay.
by um I'll say by let's just do 13.
13. I think that Pete Carroll figures out what he did wrong, and Geno Smith will throw the ball, and Seattle wins the game by 7.
Hmm.
That's my that's my
I'm just
prediction.
gonna bank on the math because, as Mr. Mo has taught me, math is never wrong.
True, true.
Uh, so that is our week 7 predictions.
All right. Any hot takes?
I wrote mine down.
Oh, you wrote one down?
Yeah,
You are more prepared than me.
after the draft, and maybe the trade deadline and free agency, the Patriots are going to be the thorn in the AFC side.
Okay.
The Patriots are going to be a team where you're going to have to fight very hard because we're going to. I think after the season, I think once Mac has a season under his belt, he's going to be a lot more comfortable telling the coaching staff that, like, hey, you need to let me throw the ball. I think, you know, our run game should be better with James White back. Our receivers are fine, but maybe if we get another one, um, I'd love to see us draft a corner. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for. Um, because our defense is good. It's just we let receivers catch the ball on defense.
Mhm.
Um, God, I hate Texas.
Me too.
As
I
I'm
agree.
talking, there was a ball hit
RBI base hit.
into right center field, which brought Gurriel or Correa
Correa.
home, and Gurriel's at third. It was 3-2 count.
And there should have been a strike earlier in the count that was called a ball. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was it was pretty clearly a strike.
And Jose Altuve, who homered in the eighth, is now back batting. Do you have any hot takes for this week of football or baseball? This is a sports podcast
You
after
be
all.
yeah. You like do your hot takes for like a year in advance. I'm like trying to think of this week.
I'm judging it off of this week and like the Pats performance. But also
I'm trying to
I
choose
think
a
that's
hot
my
take
hot
for this week.
I think that's my hot take every week is the Pats are gonna be good.
Yeah, your hot take every week is Mac Jones is gonna be good.
He is.
Um, yeah, I think there's gonna be more bombshells dropped from that Washington football team investigation. That's my hot take. Is that a lot of people are about to get fired, probably within like the next month.
Oh no.
So that's gonna be fun.
I said oh no because just threw two balls.
Yeah,
I'm looking through. I think even though I said it was gonna be a tie, I think Sam Darnold's gonna figure something out and start learning to not suck as bad.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
this is for the future. I don't think the Lions are gonna. I think the Lions are gonna get a win this season.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win.
At least a game.
Atlanta,
That's it. Yeah, they could be.
Atlanta.
Um, Colts are gonna start improving. I think. I think the Colts are
Yeah,
gonna start improving.
yeah.
And
And I,
what?
that's it. Is that it?
I was about to say that's it.
That's it.
Alrighty, my Mingas. It is that time to wrap it up. If you enjoyed watching this podcast live on twitch.tv/Nacho Live, the O is a 0. Thank you for coming and watching. If you like to watch your podcast on YouTube, it is only in audio format. There's a picture of our funny logo, haha, up, but it's just audio for right now. Gotta increase the production quality eventually. At Minga Sports Podcast on YouTube. If you prefer your audio podcast through a podcast format, Spotify might be the way to go. Minga Sports Pod on Spotify. Comment down below if you would like it on any other platform, and I will be sure to get it out there. But thank you all for watching. It's been a blessed opportunity to talk about sports. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. And I will most certainly catch all y'all Mingas on the flip. Word to your mother. Deuces.